Today I'm going to talk with you about stamp pads and the difference between them. The first one I'm going to show you is called Versamark. It leaves a watermark. It gives a translucent, and it's great for doing a background on a piece of paper. It just gives a different shading. And you also use it with embossing powders. So you can then heat this up and you will have a glossy print. I use it a lot when I do wording. The next one I'm going to talk to you about are dye inks. I have two different samples here. What I love about dye inks is they're acid-free, water-based, and they are fade resistant. They work great with paper products. They take water cleanup and they dry very quickly. One example I have is Memento. It's my go-to brand, particularly because I do a lot of Copic coloring. And when I use Copics, which are alcohol-based, you don't want any alcohol-based stamp pads. So these are water-based and they are great for using with that. The other one that I have is a Distress Ink by Ranger, Tim Holtz Specialty Inks. And what I really like about them is they are a little bit water reactive and they can give you a vintage effect on your cards or on your paper crafting. The next one I want to talk to you about is a solvent-based ink pad. StazOn is an example of that. And the way they are used, number one, they're very fast drying, but they work on all different types of medium. I don't use them very often on paper, but they work great on plastic, metal, glass, ceramic. They work great on coated paper that maybe has a shiny finish, and they also work on leather. The only thing with these are they are a little toxic and you need to use them in a well-ventilated space, and you use a special solvent ink cleaner to take the residue off of anything that you're using, like a stamp. Then the other one I want to talk to you about are pigment inks. Pigment inks are permanent. What I love about them is they are also archival. They dry usually pretty fast, but I like to heat set them. And they are good to be used with water-based products. For example, water pens like a Tombow, or with acrylic paints or mixed media products like Mod Podge. The other example I really like is the Ranger Archival ink. It is also a pigment ink and dries beautifully. Then there are some specialty ink pads. One that I like is by Hero Arts, and it's just for kids. So it's totally non-toxic, and you clean it up with water, which is great. You can also use this with pets. And the last one I like just a lot. You will find some specialty pads that are both dye and pigment ink. So they are fused together. They allow you to do some unique blending. They will react with water, and they work great when you're doing specialty or mixed media type projects. I like to use StazOn also on wood because of it being so permanent. The only thing about StazOn is it's real slick when you first apply it, so you have to use it with a steady hand. And that's the range of inks that we have, ink pads that we have. So come on in and see us.